I'm going to introduce everybody now to our favourite astronomer, Bill Stent, the telescope gent. He's better than Bill Nye, the science guy. And Bill's going to talk to us about what's in the sky for late May and early June. There we go. He's nearly ready. Does your clicker work now? He thinks so. I'll hand it over to you, Bill.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, if I can have the lights off, it would be great. Because I hate lights. I'm just sucking up to Kelly. How are you going? What's in the sky? Pardon? Hold it closer. Okay, what's in the sky? Late May, early June. So that's I'm just going to be talking for the next 4. Well, I'm going to be talking for the period of the next 4 weeks, and this will take a little while to fire up. There we go. Okay, tonight. Reminder: we're on the lands of the Bunurong and the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I am going to talk about, as usual, the general conditions at this time of year. What's in the sky? Now I've changed this to 9 p.m. because it's winter. Then I'll talk about where's the moon, the planets getting orientated in terms of constellations and bright stars. There ain't no planets in the evening at the moment, sorry. I'm going to talk about suggested targets for tonight. I'm not going to talk about the targets all around the sky. I'm going to concentrate on the crosses area. Eta Aquarids are still here. Has anybody seen any? Thank you, Mark. Yeah, I was up at LMDSS on Sunday night, and I was up for about a half an hour, sort of 4 o'clock, 4:30, something like that, and I saw 8, and some of them were hangers. They sort of left a trail. It was really, really good. And then I'll talk about the early risers, which basically it's all the planets there, and summarise with things to look out for this month. So I'll rattle through this reasonably fast, I think. General conditions at this time of year. Sunset is about 5:30. It's dark about 6:15. Next month that's going to be sort of getting closer to 5:05. Sunrise, it's 7 o'clock-ish, but it's dark until about 6 o'clock-ish. And next month that's going to be 7:30. So now it's getting cold and it's getting dark because solstice is in a month or so. Which means it's time to think about dew and frost. Now, if you're, who's got dew heaters and all that sort of stuff? Yeah, it's very useful. You can ruin your whole night by having your binoculars fog over in the first 10 minutes, and it's a right pain. There are things you can do. Hairdryer works really well as long as you're not sort of putting anyone at risk of putting the electricity out. Thanks, LMDSS. If you've got young astronomers, just at the moment, they're great for, young astronomers who get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. My young astronomer never did that, which was rather nice. But just at the moment, there's a line of planets. You can go and show them the planets. There's even Mercury at the moment. I saw it the other day. It was beautiful. And also we're getting towards Milky Way season. It's pretty much there now. So that's the general conditions. Now, if you're a light-dark fan, that is the moon. The new moon is tonight. It's actually, you missed it. It was at 1 p.m. It's in the north, so just at the moment the moon's going to be low in the sky when it stops being a new moon. First quarter is on Wednesday of next week. That's the 15th. It's going to be rising late mornings, setting late evenings, as it always does in first quarter. It's still just in the north, so it's sort of close to the ecliptic. But the thing is, this month, Lunar X is available. It's at 2:13 a.m. on the 16th of May, and does my little thingy work? Because this is my shot of, there it is. Oops. Oh. It worked for long enough, yeah. So yes, that's the Lunar X right there, and above there, if I can point to it with my shadow, that's the Lunar V, which happens at about the same time. It happens for about 45 minutes every month, but of course, most months the moon is not well placed. So it's good this month now. Full moon is on Friday the 24th. It's back in the south, so that means the full moon is going to be very high in the sky, causing a lot of light pollution. So it's going to be glaring down on us. So that's fine. We'll get over that. Last quarter is on Friday the 31st, and back to being a morning object. And of course, next moon. Oh, there it is. Next new moon is on the 6th of June. So, okay, now planets over the next month. This is from the ASV yearbook, which is very useful. Mercury is currently a morning object. It's pretty much at maximum elongation now. So I encourage you to go out in the mornings and have a look at it. I saw it on Monday morning from LMDSS, and it was nearly as bright as Mars. It's really, really bright at the moment. It's most impressive. It'll disappear quickly though, so it'll be gone by the time of the next meeting. Venus, forget it, it's too close to the Sun. It's going to be reappearing as an evening object in mid-June, but it's going to be, well hidden. Mars is still moving very slowly, like it's going to do for most of this year. It's still rising at about 3:30 a.m., just stuck in second gear. Jupiter is starting to become visible. It's like next week, but it's, again, like Venus, very close to the Sun. You're not going to see much of it. Saturn is good. It's in an early morning object. I think it rises about 2 a.m. Somebody might be able to correct me. But next month it's going to be rising at midnight. It's going to be quite good. That's probably the premier planet. Uranus is a morning object now. It's rising. It's still fairly close to Jupiter, which means it's lost again in twilight. Neptune, again, morning object. It's close to Mars. It's actually between Mars and, I've got it in the diagram a couple of slides on. It's rising earlier. It's moving away from Mars. To see Neptune, of course, you need a decent-sized telescope. It's bluey-green. It's a beautiful planet. Pluto is rising late evening. It's still the best placed planet, but of course it's hard to find. You need to have a telescope and a camera, take 2 shots over 2 days and see which star moved. Okay, so now, can we turn these lights off now, or is that not possible? Uh-oh, I've made him do some work, I'm sorry. Sorry, Lee. There, that's beautiful. Okay, this is the sky at 9 p.m. facing south right now, actually about half an hour ago, I suppose. So getting orientated, the Southern Cross, which is underneath my little clock there, it's nearing the meridian, sort of 11, 12-ish. So I'll just get rid of that. There you go. There you can see the Southern Cross there. It's close to the meridian. There it is, just in case you didn't know. Scorpius, now remember I've got 3 constellations which are our road maps. There's Crux and Scorpius, and Orion is just right underneath the west thing there. So it's kind of gone. So they're our main stars, main constellations. Now the orientation stars. Last month I was talking about this line of Pollux, Procyon, Sirius, Canopus, and Achernar. Pollux and Achernar are kind of gone at the moment, so you're not really going to see that. But so I'm going to do it in a slightly different way. The cross points roughly to Spica, and then you can keep going to Arcturus. That's covered half the sky, so it's quite a lot. Whoops. So that's a way of getting to some of them. Then Antares, you can't miss Antares. It's right in the middle of Scorpius, and also yellow. Sirius is low in the west, and it's getting lower, of course. But then from then you can go to Procyon, which is towards the northwestern horizon from Sirius. And if you start at the zenith, go towards the southwest, you get halfway, and that's Canopus, and that's your orientation for the evening at the moment. The Milky Way is rising in the east-southeast. It rotates around, of course, around the equator there. So it's rising at about the right time. By midnight, it's very well placed for photography. Now, my targets for the evening, we're going to concentrate on the crosses area because it's perfectly placed in the evening just at the moment, and there's an awful lot going on. So there's a zoom in. I'll just go back a bit I think I can go back. Yeah, so notice that the meridian sort of passes through it at an angle. So that's it there with the meridian going through it. And as you can see, there's a lot of stars and a lot of background going on there. There are 4 constellations, the major ones. There's Musca and all sorts of little pissy ones that no one ever cares about. But Centaurus, Crux, obviously. Carina is the big long one, and Vela is a bit. Well, it's important for one thing. It's the supernova remnant. Okay, so it's also known as the crosses area because there's the 3 crosses. There's the Southern Cross, there's the Diamond Cross, and the False Cross, and they're really good road marks for you to look around. Deep sky objects, there are a bunch of them, and it's actually quite confusing. It says there's a lot of stuff there, so I'll get rid of that. Okay, so visual objects. You want to start with the diamond cluster. With any luck, we'll be able to see these shortly. Diamond cluster is at the very bottom end of the false cross. That's false cross, so that's large. So you don't need much of an instrument to see it. You can actually see it with your naked eye in dark sky sight, but a small telescope or a pair of binoculars will do it. Jewel box, same deal. Jewel box is bright and it's very easy to find. It's just outside Mimosa in the Southern Cross there. It's everybody's favourite. There you go. Now Rigor is outside of the 3 crosses area, but it's very bright. It's a multi-star shot, a multi-star system. I think it's officially 2, but there's all sorts of stuff going on behind it. And got a photograph from here from Jeff Healy. Check that out. Now that is a corker of a photograph, and you can see it looks like a string of ducks. So it's fantastic. I cannot speak highly enough about the telescope, and B, that photo, the cluster. It's a beautiful piece of work by Jeff Healy and Diego Colonello. Let's see. The Gem cluster is smack bang in. It's just off the coast of the Carina Nebula there, and it's very pretty. I've got the same photograph dialed up a little bit in a minute. You'll see it for the astrophotographers. Pearl cluster is right in between the Carina Nebula and the Cross, and it's very small. You'll need some magnification to see it, but it's very pretty. Pleiades, you won't need much magnification to see this. You can see it with the naked eye. In fact, you can even see the outside photographs, the outside stars of that in that diagram right there. Then Alpha Centauri and Acrux are very, very similar. They're close doubles, and they look good in most telescopes. You don't need much magnification. Then we're moving towards Omega Centauri, which does take a little bit more aperture to see. It's a little bit harder to find as well because it's sort of off the coast of this area. But if you know where to find it, it's very pretty, particularly from a dark sky side. The coal sack is the outlier here. You do not need any instrument to see the coal sack. All you need to do is go to a dark sky site, any old one will do, and open your eyes. Once your eyes are accustomed, you can see it. It stands out like a coal sack. You look at it with anything, and you just lose it. Here's a photograph of the coal sack, and it's a big black blob in the middle, well, just off the side of the Southern Cross. There's a number of other bits and pieces in that. That's with a 50mm lens with an APS-C sensor. It's an ASI 071 Pro. And this is the whole thing sort of zoomed out a little bit more. This is just a single shot with a 15mm fisheye lens. Sorry about that. But yeah, you can take this photograph. It's an easy photograph to take, and it looks kind of pretty. So go thou and do that. For the astrophotographers, staying with the same area, I'll rattle through this because astrophotographers are, without exception, dull. Carina Nebula, this is my own shot from a couple of years ago. It's, as you can see, it's badly registered, but I took it over 2 years. The Gabriela Mistral, which is just off the side of the Carina Nebula, that's the same photograph as we had before, and there's Gabriela Mistral sitting there. Centaurus A, I don't think I've got a photograph of 5128. Everyone knows it looks like it. It's very, very pretty. Yeah, I'd rather have one from an astrophotographer. Here is the Vela. Sorry, Mark. Here is the Vela signal to noise ratio. I always say that. Supernova remnant. I couldn't get anywhere near all of it in. Eddie Pang's got a great shot of it. Where's Eddie? He's out the back somewhere. Yeah. He's taken some fantastic shots of that. But they're all mosaics. It's enormous. It's absolutely enormous. Running Chicken, another badly registered photograph from me. It's right next to the Pearl cluster, I think it's wedged in there. And the Dark Doodad. Again, another choreographer shot from Eddie, which I mentioned a few weeks ago. Eddie, hats off. That's an amazing photograph. I tried to take one under a full moon and got that. That's just, sorry, people. And the challenge is the blue planetary nebula. That's not that. Hang on, that's not that. No, I don't know. The blue, that is not the blue planetary nebula. The blue planetary nebula is a little bit further up. No, it's sort of around about there, isn't it? Is it that? It's that side. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Okay. My apologies for being correct, as it turns out. All right. So, Eta Aquarids are still good this year. It's because it's new moon. They're out there. I didn't hear any, but they're very, very good. It's wider than I expected. I was looking more or less at the source, and everything's very much in the your peripheral vision. So just keep a lookout for them. They're very good this year. It's still active over the next week. It is dust from the tail of Halley's Comet. This is a repeat from last month's slide. The peak was about the 6th of May, but it's a very wide peak, so it's going to be around for another couple of weeks. At the dark sky side, 40 per hour. I saw 8 in half an hour, which is not quite 40, but maybe I was blinking. You look generally east after about 3 a.m. because that's where an Aquarius rises. I did see one beforehand, and that went upwards, which is really cool. Go to LMDSS on Saturday the 11th. Take your warm clothes, a blanket, and a banana lounge. I actually had a banana lounge. I borrowed it from somebody. I don't know even whose it was. I'm sorry. But it was a very comfortable experience, and it was a lot of fun. So 5 a.m. tonight, tomorrow morning, facing south, you can see that the Southern Cross is about 4 o'clock, and it's now in a poor position for viewing. It's probably behind trees, so it's not good for viewing at 5 a.m. Scorpius is also well past the meridian. It's still visible, but it's almost gone. The Milky Way is moving. It's past the zenith. It's going towards the west. Everything is a disaster, but it's planet time. So we've got Mercury, Mars, and Saturn all in a line, and Neptune is actually slightly between. It's actually sort of about 1/4 of the way from Mars to Saturn. So they're all in there. It's actually really quite good, and they're all Mercury, Mars, and Saturn are bright as just at the moment. You could see them. On Monday night when I was up at LMDS, Monday morning when I was up at LMDSS, the crescent moon, very very new moon, or very old moon, was between Mars and Mercury. It was actually rather pretty. There was lots of Earth shine. It's not all bad. There are galaxies. Galaxy season is coming, and so this is NGC 300 and 253, which are two of the more, photogenic ones. So they're there, but you don't get a lot of time on them in the morning yet. You have to wait a little bit more. 47 Tuc is also excellent, and it's good at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Don't forget the meteors. Okay. Yes. What about the comet? Pons Brooks is still here. It's past the perihelion. It's moving away from us. It's dimming off, but it's still there. It was some excellent photographs taken last weekend. Sadly, yeah, you might think it looks like that. It doesn't. It kind of looks like that, which is, it just adds to the complexity. The other thing that was adding to the complexity was a big, tall tree just in the wrong spot. That was Eddie's. Eddie placed himself just perfectly. So anyway, over the next few days, it's going to do this. So it's going to go up. Oh, there goes the moon. It's going to go up, sort of towards Rigel. But by the time you get to around about here, it's, you know, I think I give it a week. I reckon that's about all you got, because it's gone. Let's see. Yeah, I was trying to get a photograph of the comet from the remote dome, and so I logged on to the surveillance camera, and there were, first of all, Eddie wasn't there, which is very unusual. But yeah, there was a lot of clouds. It was a little bit. You can see that there is a star or two just popping through there. So I gave it a go, and I got that, which is, you know, that's not great. So I'm not going to dwell on that. Okay, so final random observations. Eta aquarids are still near their peak, so visit the LMDSS this weekend, if you can. 10th of May, Mercury is at the greatest elongation. It's good now, so check out before sunrise and about now at new moon. Look, east-northeast, 12 degrees above the horizon at 6 a.m. You probably won't have a problem seeing it because it's very, very bright. It's below Mars, don't get them confused. And Saturn's further up, of course. 13th of May, Uranus is in conjunction with the Sun, which means that it's officially a morning object now. And why did I say that? Because conjunction means it looks like the Sun shines out of... No. Sorry. The other thing, 16th of May, 2:13 a.m, Lunar X. Go for that one. And because I mentioned Uranus in conjunction with the Sun, Jupiter is doing the same thing. It's becoming a morning object, and on the 5th of June, Venus is going the other way. It's going back around the Sun, and it's becoming an evening object. So that is it. All right. Okay.